The following is a legal advertisement. This does not constitute individual legal advice and should not be construed as such. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. My name is Michelle Gamino, and I am the Client Resource and Business Development Coordinator for Gwendolyn J. Stirk and the Family Law Group. Our speakers today are family law attorneys Gwendolyn Stirk and Jennifer Nolan. Today's topic is cats and dogs.
Okay. Debate. Cat, dog. Property, or do we treat them like children? Because I have to tell you, looking at some blogs and some things that have come up and all the cat videos I see, people are treating animals as if they are children and they need visitation rights.
Well, yeah, that's the trend, because after all, a dog or a cat's part of an order of protection now. That's been going on for years. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to go to court and you need an order of protection for yourself and for your kids, you can also get the dog or the cat protected.
Right, but I mean, surely I would more so envision that it's a property division, because, you know, when you're talking about visitation with you know, your animal, how is that really structured? How can you say, you know...
Oh, no, come on. I could have the cat, pick up the cat on Friday and bring the cat home on Saturday. Or keep it 2 nights overnight till Sunday. Don't you think that's a good idea?
I don't, because how are you going to measure what's in the best interest of a cat in terms of you have Friday through Saturday and I have Monday through Wednesday? Being serious.
Well, no, I know. And I think the best interest is a standard we apply to kids, not to cats and dogs. But sometimes people are attached to their animals. And it's the new trend. It's the most volatile thing. You can get to the end of the case, and then we get to the cat, dog. But frankly, I've never fought over a fish yet. How about you?
It's coming.
It's coming.
You give it some time. It's coming. I just feel that maybe I do. I love animals. I love pets, and I understand. You grow an attachment to your animal. You grow an attachment to your pet. But I think we have to draw the line somewhere in terms of arguing back and forth in litigation over animals. I've seen it. I've watched some cases where there's a fight for hours on the cat.
But don't you think the cat or the dog belongs to the children first and foremost?
Yeah, if they're children, I do. I think that to create a loving environment and to maintain the stability and all that it needs to be a part of the family and a part of the kids' everyday interaction.
Okay, I have to tell you, I never had a dog as a kid. So here at the office we have Duke.
Yeah.
And Duke is a therapy dog in training, and we've had him since a puppy on, and I'm very attached. So if you would have asked me this question a year ago, I probably would have said it's property, forget it. You know, there's no attachment at all. But now, if Duke wouldn't be here, I don't know what I'd do.
Right. Well, I see the attachment, and I understand the attachment. I do. But I can't get past the visitation schedule. So if someone comes into the office, I guess I'm on the fence of whether it's property or whether we're talking about...
Okay, but it's Duke. If I left the firm and somebody else took the firm over and Duke was still working here, I'd want to see him.
Yeah. Or, no, you know what? We'll send Duke with you.
Why?
Well, the attachment is so strong. I don't think anybody else can build a bond the way you have with the dog.
Well, that's sweet, but everybody likes Duke. But Duke is an attachment. So I have to tell you, it's kind of an interesting issue to me because I'm so attached to him. And he is very therapeutic, and people are getting that identification. But at the same time, I agree that it's...
Now that's different. I think if they're like a therapy dog or some kind of classification for the animal, then I think that's a little different. But in terms of just, this is our pet. And
what about a right of first refusal?
Oh, come on now, Gwen. I don't even believe in visitation, so right of first refusal with a pet.
But if you're not available, let's say that you got the cat and I got a cat, I don't get the cat. If the cat's not available and you're going to be gone and you're going to leave the cat in your home roaming around with a little food and no fun, no socialization, shouldn't I get the cat for the week?
Well, that's why we have kind of dog daycares or cat daycares.
But I have rights, and that was my cat.
That's something we'd have to litigate in court, whether there's rights in terms of this as a property or to enforce a right of first refusal.
And this gets into a different issue, but I think it's something important to talk about, is that it's always been my opinion that the law is a general framework, and we seem to think that it's going to answer all the questions, but the reality is that it depends on the judge you get.
Absolutely.
And I think that people want law to be a black and white spectrum, but it's really not. not. There are certain guidances that the laws provide, and we want there to be uniformity, but in application and in practical application, the socioeconomic background of the judge certainly will have an impact. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's when we'll get into the argument before the court. If it has to get down to that, if we just cannot have an agreement, and you have this love for this dog, and then you also have this love for this dog on the other side, when we duke it out, then you just have to take it before the court and let the judge, like you said, rule on it, and it depends on their background and
Right. I had a judge that loved dogs once and came out and lectured us about the love of dogs, and the dog issue became a very significant part of the litigation. In another case, I had the judge was like, I don't care, do whatever, and then the judge did not treat it in the same capacity. So that would be an example of what happens.
Absolutely.
And does divorce affect the animals, though?
I think so. I think animals, again, I don't have a pet, but I can see animals having a certain attachment to their owners, to their, their family, if you will. And I think if you have an environment that is intense, I think animals feel that. And, maybe they'll start misbehaving or acting out.
So now you're advocating that the best interest of the dog is to have the family remain intact?
You just asked me a question. No, I'm just saying, if we are considering the feelings of the dog.
Well, then the dog is not property.
I know.
Yeah, see, you don't see it. So it's a hard line, and I think we can't have it both ways. It's
Right.
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's where the problem is. But if there is kids, taking the pet back and forth is an answer.
Yes.
And then you get into the other issue, and this doesn't really tie to our subject matter, but should the kids be lugging all of their stuff to and from each parenting time visit?
No, I don't think so. I think, the way that you should have it structured is the kids should feel comfortable in either space. And if they need to bring, a blanket from moms to dads, that's fine. But I don't think it needs to be a suitcase packed every time that there's an exchange.
Right. Well, it's interesting because I think that the trend is the society has changed and the animals become an essential part. It's different from those cases where maybe a family raised horses and they have 20 horses and it's part of their property, and so it's clearly that's or a cow case where you have a farmer and you've got, a herd of cows and that's part of the assets. When you have a domestic animal, I think that's the distinction that's there. But it's certainly causing a lot of problems, and I think we're going to see more of it. I didn't see anything, but I have one claim to fame. There was a judge, and he didn't even know that the order protection statute now protected the animals. And I got the first, to his this judge's known, understanding, he was the first one to give me an order of protection for the dog. And I was quite proud of that. That's my claim to fame.
I bet that was interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
No kids, just the dog?
Just the dog and mom. Not mom of the dog. No kids. Husband, wife, dog. I got an order of protection for the wife and the dog, and I'm proud.
Okay.
There we go. Well, it's an interesting thing.
It is.
Don't you think it ties into a change in society, though, as well?
Absolutely. I do. And I think, like you said, we're growing into this pet lover embracing society. So it's more so like animals have rights too. Animals have the right to have, a comfortable, stable home and to be with the pet owner that's going to take care of them, the best.
Okay, now we're on rights talk, because if you ask me...
No. Oh.
Wait.
Okay.
I don't think we have any rights other than what the majority gives us, right?
Correct.
The only rights in a democracy are notice and an opportunity to be heard. Outside of those due process rights, we can all label it rights.
But it's not.
Same thing happens in a divorce. I have a right to this, I have a right to that. And I look at people and say, no, you only have what the majority of our citizens in Illinois wanted to give you as an Illinois statutory provision, right?
Correct.
That's just garbage. So this concept of rights, you got to be careful when you swing that word around. And there's a great book out there called Rights Talk, and it's an older book, but it sure is good because it talks about the fact that we can't just swing that word around.
Right.
Because the rights are only what people are willing to give you.
Yeah, hey, amen to that.
There you go. All right, well, if you have a dog or a cat, see us and we'll deal with it.
The proceeding was a legal advertisement from Gwendolyn J. Stirk and the Family Law Group.